How to be successful hunting public lands. Before I explain how you can use the chaos to improve your chances to get wild game, let me explain the video in the background. The wildlife management area will be holding its public hunts in a couple of weeks. And there's one every week coming up. And I wanted to get status on the wildlife. And the video shows what I had come across. But if you're going to be hunting public lands that doesn't sign you an area or put you in a blind, and most of them probably don't, there's an opportunity there that you may not have realized. Now imagine this. Opening day, hundreds of hunters arrive entering the public land hunt area. The wildlife know you've arrived, and the chaos begins. As these hunters seek out through their scouted areas, the wildlife has detected their presence. The wildlife will move downwind. It's circling, heading the opposite directions the hunters move in. The wildlife is concentrating on their evasive tactics to elude those hunters they have detected. The environment chaos is now in play. Many years ago, I was hunting in the Laguna Atascosa Wildlife Management Area. I arrived at the area I had scouted and was making my way out there a couple of hours before sunrise. As I'm walking down the trail, I look up and see flashlights in the area that I had planned to hunt. I stopped and started to think of another strategy. There was a strong north wind since a cold front came in the evening before. I knew of a well-used animal trail that was located on the edge of a shallow marsh in a ridgeline. I found a mesquite tree that gave enough cover and still allowed me to use my airbow. It was an archery hunt. Around 8 a.m. in the morning, I hear noises behind me. A man and his daughter. The man explains to me his daughter had shot a huge bull Nilgai down the way on the trail I was hunting. He had a game card and explained to me that he was going to need to move the Nilgai through the area I was hunting. I asked if he needed any help with the Nilgai getting it back to his truck, and he replied he and his daughter could handle that task. I move on to find another area to hunt, and I head back to the main road. I arrived to my Jeep. I noticed that across the marsh, there was a very dominant ridge standing about 10 feet high. I also noticed that a group of about 6 trucks were parked at the next entry point on the road. It was already about 8:30 a.m. now, and I needed to get moving. I head up the edge of the marsh and travel on the animal trails between the edge of the marsh and the ridgeline. I found a spot high up on the ridge, giving me the height advantages I needed to cover the area. The area I was looking to had the wind blowing into my face, so my scent wasn't going to be blown into the area I was covering. It was about 9:30 a.m. now, and here comes an 8-point buck walking in. I brought up my airbow, and the buck saw me and darted right off. A few minutes later, a big bull Nilgai comes up, and I pull up my airbow, and again, he sees it, and he runs away. But all of a sudden, another Nilgai runs up to the exact spot he was running to, and I already had my airbow up and ready to go. And bam, I popped that dude right in the neck. He dropped straight down, and I ended up harvesting him. What I learned is the hunters from those 6 trucks I had seen in the next entry point had completed their morning hunt and were returning to the trucks. The deer in Nilgai were concentrating on their evasive tactics from those other hunters. They had not noticed it. So when I say use the chaos to your advantage, that is what I'm talking about. I continued to use this method, and it worked year after year. Good luck, guys. Hunting season's coming soon.